Oh, it's one of the first movies I remember watching with my dad when I was a little kid.
The first shot of the big ship, flying overhead and the laser battle, and then Vader walking in, of course the stormtroopers, that was just so wow. It was just sensory overload.
The first time I saw Star Wars, I loved Princess Leia and her buns. She was fabulous.
I was young enough to really be wowed by the special effects, but yet old enough to understand the story and the mythology behind all of it. But it just blew me away.
Star Wars first swept across movie screens 28 years ago. The impressions it left on the audience are undeniable, but perhaps even more far-reaching are the effects that rippled through Hollywood itself.
I was a film student when the first one came out, and a lot of us kind of noticed a big change in the film industry then. Star Wars came out and it made a huge amount of money because it appealed to a huge audience, and so what ended up happening is that the studios wanted to, of course, duplicate that. And movies started being made more and more by committee.
Keeping windows and doors closed.
And also changed the face of film school enrollment of the time.
It was always the student that came in who wanted to make a film like Star Wars who was probably the worst student, simply because they were attracted by the special effects and the gloss. And they never were able to come up with a story as good as Star Wars actually has.
Luke, you do not yet realize your importance.
And it's that core story that sets Star Wars apart from many of the countless visual spectacles that followed.
I am your father.
Partially the technology at the time was so groundbreaking, but I just think there's stories that they're partially fantasy but partially realistic, and it's just kind of fun. Everybody likes some of the characters.
My favorite character is Luke Skywalker.
Princess Leia with Jabba the Hutt and the Stormtrooper scared me.
Did you ever dress up as Princess Leia as a child?
I wanted to. Still do.
She's not alone.
I always wanted to be a trooper ever since I saw them blast their way onto the Tantia 4 30 years ago.
How do people receive you in costume when you show up in a situation like this?
They love it. They love it. There's a lot of smiles. There's a lot of, oh, wow, a stormtrooper. It's like, where's my camera?
No more picture. Nothing more to see here.
This is where the fun begins.
And with Revenge of the Sith opening this week, the Star Wars saga draws to an end. Fans have good reason to anticipate.
Who's Darth Vader? Is he real? Is he human or a machine? And what's the deal with him being related to Luke? And that's the appeal of the new movie coming out now, because a lot of these questions that I've been asking myself for almost 30 years are finally going to be answered.
I'm taking my dad for his birthday because that is something I remember watching with my dad.
This is the year to be a Star Wars fan.